Good evening. Today's Bible reading is Genesis 15 and chapter 16. After those things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward. But Abram said, Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless? And the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. Then Abram said, Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, no one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but the one who will come from your own body shall be your heir. Then he brought him outside and said, Look now towards the heaven, and count the stars, if you are able to number them. And he said to him, So your descendants be. And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. Then he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of Chaldean to give you this land to inherit. And he said, Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it? And he said to him, Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Then he brought all of these to him and cut them in two down the middle, and placed each piece opposite the other. But he did not cut the birds in two, and when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, Know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve I will judge. Afterward they shall come out with great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go I can't get it. You shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. And as it came to pass, when the sun went down and was dark, behold, there appeared a smoking oven and a burning torch that passed between these pieces. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the Canaanite, the Kenites, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Rephaim, the Amorite, the Canaanite, and the Girgazite, and the Jebusite. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maidservant, whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, See now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. Please go into my maid, perhaps I shall obtain children by her. And Abram heeded the voice of Sarah. Then Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan. So he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress became despised in her eyes. Then Sarah said to Abram, My wrong be upon you. I gave me my maid in your embrace, and when she saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between you and me. So Abram said to Sarah, Indeed, your maid is in your hand. Do with her as you please. And when Sarah dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. Now the angel of the Lord found her by the water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah maid, where have you come from, and where are you going? And she said, I am fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarah. The angel of the Lord said to her, Return to your mistress, and submit her under your hand. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants exceedingly, so they shall not be counted for multitudes. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Behold, you are with child. You shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. He shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he will dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Then she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees, for she said, Have I also seen him who sees me? Therefore the well was called Belial. Observe, that is, between Kadesh and Beta. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram named his son whom Hagar bore Ishmael. Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. God bless you.